I couldn't get off. I feel the whole just the weight cut just took a toll on me. I think from the minute the back injury to the minute the rescheduled date, it was a race against time. You didn't have to be a genius to see I was flat from 40 seconds into the fight. You know what I mean? So I just couldn't. I just couldn't get going. I feel the weight killed me. The weight from the back injury last time to when I got over the back injury, you know, I cut 42 pounds. I feel it just took a toll on my body. I think from the rescheduled date, it was always going to be a push. Do you know what I mean? 42 pounds, a lot of weight. 160 shouldn't really is not a struggle. It was just obviously coming back off the injury, and you know, I got back in camp. We had the press conference to announce the rematch. Then we done the gloves are off. You know, train home, and I done me back the next day. So basically, the start of the last camp, I got injured and had another 4 or 5 weeks where I couldn't do nothing. So, you know, at the start of camp, you're starting camp quite heavy. I went heavier again, if that makes sense. That's what frustrated me because it looked like Chris was great, and I was like, Chris was exactly that started that fight exactly how we started the last fight, but then got more confident because he was not being countered and not being, like, you know, the counters I was trying to throw was miles away, too slow, going over the top of his head. So he got more confident, do you know what I mean? And obviously, you can keep throwing. If nothing's coming back, you can throw and throw and throw. So that's why I feel like Chris got confidence, because he knew nothing was really coming back. I couldn't really, I just didn't have it in me to counter. So, you know, someone's not countering you or throwing back or even throwing when you throw, you get more confidence. So you let more and more shots go. But I feel he starts the fight exactly how he started the last one.
What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we just heard some of the excuses there from Liam Smith. Not a good look, man. Not a good look. End of the day. I can't lie. He says, the fight started the same way as the first fight. And yeah, you weren't countering him, that's for sure. Liam Smith's correct. If you don't counter someone, they will just get off on you. That said, the way Eubank started this fight was not like the first fight at all. The first fight, I have to admit, and you said yourself, Eubank was scared to death or something. I don't know what it was, but he was scared to death in that first fight. And he's been that way under Roy Jones, full stop. Just really nervy. He weren't nervy at all. He came straight forward and met you in the centre of the ring and punched your head in from the centre. That's what I saw. That first fight, he was kind of like in, out, 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 in, out, out. You know what I mean? He was boxing, politicking. He was standing right in front of you and touching you all over. So it's not fair to say, the implication Liam Smith's making here is that, well, do you know what I mean? If it had gone, if I'd have been countering, then it would have been exactly like the first fight, because the fight started like the first fight. Yeah, but it didn't at all. Now, can I say Liam Smith looked flat? That's easy to say though, isn't it? It's easy to say Liam Smith looked flat. It's a bit like Errol Spence. It's easy to say Errol Spence looked flat, but I don't know, what is it, a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Bomac or these guys, Crawford and Eubank, they both had their best performances. Are we going to really put that down to, these guys look flat? Or is it the case of, damn, Eubank and Crawford really doing it like that? It could be a mixture of both. It could be that Eubank and Crawford are really doing it like that, and these guys were a little flat, but end of the day, it's sport, man. And you can't take away credit, especially when, Liam Smith's not Errol Spence, but still, these guys haven't, I think, even Liam Smith, when he got stopped by Canelo, he wasn't, from what I remember, he wasn't battered like he was in a Eubank fight. Eubank proper touched him all over. Give him a proper one. And Carl Froch made a good point. I had to lose 42 pounds in weight. What is a professional? Bear in mind, another excuse Liam Smith said, I couldn't delay the fight anymore because Chris was going to move on. Okay, so you knew, which is fair enough to Chris, to be honest. Bear in mind, people, they fought last in January. This fight's been 9 months in the making, which even for traditional rematch standards are like 6 months. So you've already had 6 months and another 3 months. How much longer did you think Eubank going to sit around waiting for? It's not like, Eubank wanted a rematch in April, 3-4 months later, and it's been tight. No, you've had 9 months. So forget about that narrative, that there wasn't enough, I didn't want to delay it anymore. You had 9 months. And then you say, you don't want to lose the fight because Eubank might move on. So knowing if you delay the fight anymore, Eubank might move on, what possessed you to add 42 pounds in weight? They fought at 160. Liam Smith's not a big guy. That means he must have been walking around at 205 pounds. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, yeah. To get to 205 pounds, you've got to be doing some proper, you know what I mean? Some proper dirty bulking. You've got to have no respect for the diet at all to gain 42 pounds in weight. None at all. You can't be serious about the sport, in my opinion. Especially when this wasn't a case of, Smith's in the off-season and just had nothing going on. You knew the Eubank fight was there. You knew you were injured waiting for the Eubank fight. How do you know what, I can't train because I'm injured, so therefore I will eat everything in sight. What's that about? You should have been saying, wait a minute, I can't train, but the least I can do is keep my weight on point, so when I can train, I'm hitting the ground running. So again, on this basis, the fact that Liam Smith can't take his own professional career seriously, don't tell me about how, I was weight drained. Because no one didn't ask you to be weight drained. No one didn't force you to be weight drained. No one didn't force them cherry bakewells down your throat. You must have been proper bulking off the cherry bakewells, bottom line, to get that big. Yeah. Just think for a minute how much weight that is, people. He gained 42 pounds in 3 months. That's like what? That's like half a pound of fat every other day. You've got to be doing some serious bulking to be adding that much weight. As an athlete as well. So Liam Smith here, rather than come up on here, and it makes me laugh, people always say this, I ain't got no excuses. To be fair to Eubank, man, when Eubank lost, we didn't actually, and I've gained a lot of respect for Eubank, but we didn't actually hear him say too much. The elbow thing, that was debatable. Was it an elbow? I don't know. In fact, Liam Smith came out in the last week or so and said, yeah, I elbowed him. Now, was he taking the Michael? I don't know, but he admitted it. But put that to one side, Eubank, really, he didn't come out and say, I had to weight cut before and I was drained. He took his licks, man. And not only took his licks, and he came back and demonstrated what time it was. Yeah? It's Chris Eubank time. I'm here, I've arrived, I'm here, I'm on. And he tore dude ass up. End of the day. So a lot of these guys, Liam Smith included, they say things like, I'm not going to come here and make any excuses. Well, you are. Just don't say you're not going to make excuses. You are full of excuses. All we heard from Liam was excuses. That's innit. Let's be real here. All we heard from Lil Buddy was excuses. The weight, the ankle. The ankle. It's clear to see his ankle was twisted. Okay, now. Yeah. Embarrassing. It's sad. Give Eubank the respect that he gave you. Yeah? And the difference was, to be quite honest, was that you actually did catch Eubank with a lucky shot. Eubank was beating your ass for 9 rounds and stopped you. I'm sorry, people. There's a big difference between what Eubank did with Smith. Yeah, he beat Eubank, obviously, but he was lucky. Come on. There was no follow through before the 4th round. There was no build up. It was kind of like, okay, you got caught. You was mollywopped. Yeah, Chris mollywopped your ass. So there's no time for no trying to justify it somehow, some way. You got whooped. Yeah, just own it. Listen, man, I got whooped. Dude put the whoop in it. Whooped the fire out of me. That's what you got to say. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and leg off the 100%, no doubt.